Could you turn it way down and give me a groove like you used to?
I actually like my old setup. Like, it's so...
Hello you guys. Today I am not going to be talking much on video. So anyways, let's get right on into this. So I started out with the Pat McGrath Skin Essence Toner. We all know I love that stuff. I'm almost done with it. You want to make sure that you're hydrating your face. It is the summertime and you know you want your skin to look healthy. Then I went in with the Versed Light Lock Moisture. I believe it's their light moisturizer or moisturizing gel cream, something like that. I really like that stuff too. It's light, you know, true to name, and it's pretty good. Then I went in with the, what did I go in with next? Okay, girl, hurry up. Come on, girl. Then I went in with the Milk Pore Clips Mattifying Primer. I like this. I like to make sure that the center of my face is all pretty much matte because I have issues sometimes with my concealer just staying in place. So I like to go in with this stuff. It's pretty good. After this, I ended up color correcting. Although I know I don't have any hair above my lip, but I guess it's just an insecurity. I don't think it's an insecurity. I think it's a habit of just color correcting, and I would much rather just do it to get it out the way rather than, you know, feel like I'm noticing darkness around my mouth later. I also regretted pushing up my brows for some reason because today it ended up like looking really weird when I applied my concealer, but you'll see in the video. But yeah, I really like the MAC Conceal and Correct palette. I think this is the medium deep. It has really nice color correcting shades in there, and it's a pretty versatile palette. It has lots of, you know, it gives you some different options in there for concealing and correcting. So yes, I'd highly recommend that. After color correcting, I decided to go in with a powder on top of the color corrector just to make sure everything was smooth and even. And I highly recommend this if, you know, you deal with oiliness. And I also I've started putting color corrector underneath my eye just because I feel like it helps a little bit. Also, I want to mention, going forward, I think I will be telling products that I use through, you know, the voiceover rather than tagging them. That way you have to watch the video. Oh well, you're just gonna have to be upset. I don't care. But yeah. And for some reason, the song that I usually use in the beginning got flagged for copyright, so I was like, okay, I'm not gonna use that today. So you want to make sure that you go in with a powder that is close to your skin tone, and I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills loose powder in the shade Deep Peach, I believe is the name. Really good, really like that stuff. Then I went in with the Makeup Forever HD Skin Essentials palette, I think is the name. They have so many, I never remember the name, but it's one of the palettes. I like to go in with a highlighting shade in the areas I want to be brighter, so that's what I did. Make sure you get the forehead, all that stuff. Then I went in with my Matchsticks from Fenty Beauty in the shade Espresso. She's so good. And today I decided to underpaint. I also like to bring the contour like down my neck, so you know everything just flows together, darling. I don't want it to look like I only have, you know, I want everything to flow together. Push it into your temples. Make sure you push it into your neck. Get your shoulders, darling. You know, get it all down there. And make sure you get that forehead of yours. Just make sure everything's blended out. Then I went in and blended out the concealer shade. Whatever you do, just make sure you're not pressing too hard. Have a light hand so that most of the product can stay on your face. Some people be pressing too hard. It may even look like I'm pressing too hard, but I swear, I'm not. And also, I like to make sure that I'm blending out the edges rather than going directly into the center of where I applied the product, because that's not what you want. You want to keep the coverage in the area. Then I went in with the Fenty Skin Hue Skin Tint. I am obsessed with this skin tint. It has replaced my other favorite, which is the Milani Glow Skin Tint, I believe. I love the Fenty Hues. So amazing, so lightweight. And that Milk Hydro Grip spray amazing. Stunning, stunning, stunning. As you can see, I'm like almost done with it. Just so good. It's such a summer staple. If you want that like skin-like finish, but also like the coverage still there, go get that. She's fab. Then I like to blend it out with a brush, and like I said, make sure you're running the product a little bit down your neck. Not too much, but make sure you know you're getting the areas that people are going to see. I used to not like apply it to my neck and stuff, but then I was like, girl, why have I not been doing that? You just want to press that into the skin. Look at the skin, honey. You see the skin. You see the skin. Like, wow, Fenty. Baby, y'all did that. I really cannot make this up. Fenty skin, Fenty beauty, Fenty skin, Fenty hair. Baby, I would love to do a campaign. I would really love to be there. I need to be there. My face needs to be in that campaign, seriously. I'm serious. And then I like to go in and finally blend like the center of where I applied the product. The product now has dried down a little bit, so this is why I like to go in at this point and blend it out rather than going in initially when I first applied it. And as you can see, this is what I meant by my brows were like looking super duper funny. You could see like the brow product above my brows. It was just a mess. So I ended up just wiping off my forehead, which is fine because I don't like to apply a lot of product to my forehead anyway, so it really wasn't that big of a deal. Then I went in with the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealers. These are amazing. One of the best matte concealers in my opinion. I then went in with the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Concealer. Amazing. One of my OGs. I went in with the shade 385. I love it. It like fits my skin tone really well. And once again, don't go directly into the center of where you applied the product. You want to make sure that you're blending out the edges first and letting the center dry down. That is the key, darling. Then I like to go in with a beauty blender. All of my beauty blenders are really dirty right now, but I haven't found time to clean any of my makeup like tools. Anyways, that's another story for another day. I like to make sure that the beauty blender is dry. It needs to be dry. Why are you going in with a wet, nasty, sopping, moldy beauty blender? Stop doing that, please. I am begging you. Please stop doing that. You want the product to stay in the area, darling. You want it to stay. You want it to stay. I know it probably sounds or seems like a dry beauty blender is taking away the product, but I swear, if you let the product dry down, it is not taking away the product. Just trust me. Just trust me. It's gonna give you this very airbrushed look, and that's what you want, darling. Make sure to use the other side of the beauty blender. I also like to go back on my chin and reapply the foundation or skin tint that I used that day because I don't like it to be too bright on my chin, especially because I have a butt chin. Like, girl, no, you don't want too much, you know, attention to that. So I like to go back in and reinforce the foundation. I also like to go back in and reinforce the contour, which is why I applied a little bit more of that Fenty Beauty Matchsticks in the shade Espresso. Super duper good, you know, carves out the cheeks, darling. That's exactly what you want. Gives you that bronzy, gives you that contoured effect, and that's what you want. So yeah, and then you want to go in with your foundation brush again and just tap on top of where you applied that bronzer to mesh the concealer and the bronzer like together. Pro tip. And I don't like this brand, so I'm not going to mention their name. However, darling, I like to go in with a brighter concealer underneath my eyes just to give that, you know, chef's kiss effect. Then I went back into the Makeup Forever Face Essentials palette and got some of that darker shade to kind of contour my nose area. My like nose to brow area is what I like to do. And as you can see, it gives me some more depth. You don't want your face to look flat. So make sure you add those, you know, dimensions.
They're my favorite.
The LYS blush is my favorite blush maybe of all time. Like, those cream blushes are so fab. This is the shade Bubbly. I really don't have anything to say. I never have anything to say. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Do I need to say anything, honestly? It is amazing. Like, I don't know what they put in this stuff. Like, wow. It literally is so good. Yeah. 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 Yep. Mm-hmm. You also want to make sure that you're pushing the product into your brows a little bit, but not too much. Just lightly, you know, you want to look fresh and flushed. That's the goal. And I also like to once again go in and just reinforce the product that I already put there. I probably didn't add any more product onto the brush. I just used what was already there. And then I went and just kind of shaped the bridge of my nose with a lighter concealer. And once again, I'm going to blend out the edges of where I applied the product because you don't want to go directly into, you know, the center. You want that to stay in place. So you leave that a little bit and yeah. I feel like this is another part that is pretty self-explanatory. I'm just blending out the rest of the concealer, but also make sure that you're not tapping too hard. Use a light hand and a dry beauty blender. That is the key. Now, instead of using the beauty blender to blend out the nose bridge area, I like to take a smaller brush and blend that out lightly as well. And once again, it's going to keep the product kind of in place, but also blend it out and press it into your skin. Then take an empty brush and just, or not an empty brush, take the same brush that you used earlier to create the dimension towards your brow on your brow and nose, and just use that and then blend out the rest of the concealer. Tap the sides of your nose because you want to make sure it's blended all together. And I ended up using for some reason I forgot all about the Laura Mercier powders, and I remember them being extremely dry, but today I decided to use the Laura Mercier translucent powder in the shade Honey, and it's pretty good. I think I mixed that with the translucent powder from One Size, which I also like. Typically I don't tap over my blush area, but today I did. I used the House Labs blush. I think it was the shade Watermelon. So the two blushes that I used were Hibiscus Haze and Watermelon Bliss. Then I like to tap a pressed powder into my under eye just to make sure everything is set, honey, and nothing is moving. And it gives you that, you know, just like stamped effect. After I go in and set with a pressed powder, then I go back in with either a translucent powder or maybe I took the pink powder from One Size. I'm not for sure which one I used, but I set all of the areas I need to highlight. So my under eye, my nose, a little bit of my forehead, like the center of my forehead, and the center of my chin. And then I go in with a skin tone powder or a loose powder that is my skin tone. I'm sure I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills loose powder in the shade Deep Peach and just buff that into the rest of my face. For a press powder, I went in with the Fenty Beauty, I'm not for sure the name, but the Fenty Beauty press powder in the shade 410. Now onto eyes. I just primed my eyes with a concealer, but I didn't want a lot of color, so I kind of just sheared it out as much as I could. I just wanted a nice base for the eyeshadow to lay on top of. One Side sent me their Wicked collection, which is really nice. As you can see, I was gagging at the shimmer, darling. It was honestly so pretty. It reminds me of the Kaleidos. I think that's the name of the brand, Kaleidos. They have really nice like eyeshadows, highlighters, and things like that. Honestly, it gave me that vibe. I went in with this green shade first, darling. It was so cute. Well, it was like a lighter green, and then on the outer edge of my eye, I went in with a darker green just to give a little bit more depth. Yes, that's the word of the video, depth. On my brow bone, I went in with that pink shade just to marry everything together. You know, it was giving, honey. It did exactly what I needed her to do. This is the vibe I was going for. And I'm really not gonna voice over the rest of the video because also pretty straightforward. If you'd like to know what I use for eyeliner, I use the Trixie Cosmetics. They have like this black pigment liner situation, but it's in a pot, and I've just been using that. Although I feel like mine has dried out, so I really need to get another one, but I still like it.
Can't keep on loving you one foot outside the door. I hear a funny hesitation, a heart that's never really sure. Can't keep on trying if you're looking for more. And all that I could give you, and what you can't get for. Almost made you love me, almost made you cry, almost made you happy, babe. Didn't I, didn't I? Just turned around, but everybody knows almost doesn't count. All I heard was saying you were finally free. Who was always missing for you, babe? You counted in me, but you can't get to heaven and off the ground. Everybody knows almost doesn't count. Keep on loving you one foot outside the door. I hear a funny hesitation, but that's never really sure. Can't keep on trying if you're looking for more. And all that I can give you, but you can't get for.
For mascara, I use the High Impact Mascara from Clinique, which I do enjoy. I did also realize that the inner wings were like uneven, so you're gonna see me like looking at them in a moment. Somehow I think I fixed it. Also, if you get mascara on your eyelid like I do all the time, just let it dry. And I used a kind of like a spikier brush, like a liner brush, and I just wiped the liner away. So that's another pro tip for you.
Looks weird.
And of course, the lips didn't get fully captured. I think my camera like died or something. I'm not for sure. I used Downtown Beauty from NYX, which is one of my favorite brown liners. And then I think I found like a dark brown lip liner. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and I love you so much. Please make sure you subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And you know, you're going to be doing your makeup like this summer, honey. Miss Corey helped you out. I love you and I will see you guys in my next video.
You think he just doing a good like that? Thinking that nobody fit a vibe back. Losing your mind, baby. Can't be sure. Time's wasting.